Okay, so here I'm approaching this Toronto Public Library, Jane Dundas. Now, I'm actually on the other demographic, in the other political demographic. So you have a lot of, for example, the blacks that are situated in very poor communities. Over here you have European, Polish individuals. So here's a library that's close by. So we're just going to take a walk and drop off this book. But as you can see, it's got, nice state-of-the-art facilities, wonderful sunlight. And if you actually take a look at the libraries in the black communities, see if they actually look like this. I'm returning this book called Cry Freedom. I don't know if you can see this. Now, it says here that it's a simplified edition by John Freely. And this book was actually available in a location called Don Mills. Now, Don Mills is a predominantly white neighborhood. So, kids who actually want to learn about themselves, learn about Steve Biko, where do they get this information from? This particular book, it looks nice, it's small, and it says it's a very simple read. But when you actually look inside this book, and you read the content has no respect for Steve Biko. So how do people actually pay any respect to stuff like this? I'm returning the book. This is book return. Libraries are great places to spend time, bring the family, etc. Walking into this library, when you look at the demographics, you see a lot of Caucasians, Polish, you see the few, like for example, I think from the Somali community working here. But what about the communities that are experiencing murders, poverty, unemployment? These are not things related to the community itself. This is actually related to social policy in Canada. So you have something like this. Now, instead of getting jobs at Walmart, why don't you see our own working in places such as this? Public library. Here, I'll show you. You can see for yourself. Toronto Public Library. You don't see a lot of our own working in places like this. So what they do is they strategically place people in these gutter license plates. I'm crossing the street, it says to walk, and this bitch just drives right across, doesn't even look at what she's doing. Anyways, Toronto is such a fucked up place, it's not even funny. So I'm just going to show you some things. And it's good that I filmed this because I was pointing to the walkway. See, this is what black males have to do in Toronto. See, I have a petitioner background, professorship background, but a young black male has to look and say, okay, how do I protect myself? Well, we're going to get them. We're going to get this whole entire system. See this? Now that bitch in the car, she can go and she can make a complaint against a black person to say, oh, there was someone walking across the street with their cell phone and listening to their iPad or whatever the fuck these things are called. And that's not true. I was actually doing, and I don't have to explain anything. She has to explain herself because she drove when she shouldn't have. Pedestrians have the right of way, so she should be looking into her driving manual. There's a lot of things that happens in Toronto. And when you go on these environmental justice walks, like, I don't know what this place is here, but it stinks. And they actually had a really big fire here. And there was something related to some kind of insurance claim. And nobody knows what happened. But there was big money involved here. Walking by, someone smoking weed. Now, people riding by may think it's me, because I'm the one who has the locks, but I don't even do that shit. So this place here, I'm not even sure what this is, but there is a huge fire here, some kind of situation here. And again, they say, oh, environmental justice problems are just in, the United States. It's not true. This is Toronto, Canada, and this is an NDP neighborhood. So I'm saying to myself, what the fuck is this NDP? These are a bunch of these things lined up. These are waste baskets or whatever. I don't even know what's in there. I have to try and figure out a way so I can see this lens, and the lens can see me. I'm gonna figure this out because I've never actually I've never done filming before, but I'm just talking. And here you go. Have a beer store here, liquor store here. So what kind of social planning is this? Now, if you go to other neighborhoods, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a drive to the north, but because of racial profiling, they've obstructed that ability to drive. So I'm now filing a lawsuit. It's going to be a couple $1 million so that they can pay up and not inconvenience us. Drive down to some other neighborhoods in northern Alberta where northern Ontario, that's my home province. You actually see how the planning is different. This place here reminds me of Love Canal. Now this is in Toronto, Ontario, in NDP neighborhood. I'm not even sure what this place is, but it's been like this for many years. I'm not sure if there was some kind of toxic contamination. The place was up for sale, and now the sale sign is down. You can see that there's like a house. There's some kind of house, and it's all boarded up. So I'm not even sure what this place was before, and I've always walked by here to wonder, like, what the hell is this place? So again, this looks like Love Canal. Now, how can you actually get environmental justice officers to investigate all this? Because this is actually a health hazard. Look at how they've boarded up this place. And this is NDP property. So I'm not sure what exactly this filming is all about. Or I'm not sure what this planning is about. But I just wanted to show you some things with respect to how they plan neighborhoods in Toronto, Canada. Now, it's not a problem to say that all this shit happens in the United States. That is not true because it's right here. And I'm walking and I'm showing you that what the position is in Canada is to take this position to say, well, all the problems are with the Americans and there's no problems in Canada. But that's not true, because the place that I actually showed you, I think it's worth $700 million or something like that. There's people housed in that place that abuse other people. And what happens is you have this network of what you call Toronto Police Services. They don't respond to black inquiries. What they do is they protect whites on their own. So we're here and we're saying to ourselves, okay, we know how peace officer services is supposed to work, and why does it work this way? So I just want to show you some of this planning and how these communities become constructed. So when it comes to issues of blaming the black male or blaming the black female for their own poverty, you got to look into stuff like this and say, wait a minute here. We look at court cases and say, okay, so how did they put an environmental scan into that? How did they actually consider the social infrastructure environment that the person is in? These people don't do any work. Caucasians employed everywhere. Who's driving all the bling? But who's actually bringing in the business? It's blacks, but blacks are unemployed. So this is just one segment, and I'll come back to this. So I'm going to film on another topic. So I'll be putting up videos as I go different places, and you can leave your commentary. It's unedited. I'm not looking pretty or whatever, but engaging in critical discussions around why these things happen. This is Canada.